Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, we are just now getting a feel for the destruction yesterday's storms caused across the Magnolia State. We'll fill you in on what we know about damages so far.
Governor Reeves has a chance to check one of his top ticket items for this session of the list. Find out what now waits on his signature coming up.
And as the war in Ukraine continues, the president is in Europe today to meet with other leaders as he looks to update his response to Russian attacks. This and more is straight ahead. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I am Juliana Jackson.
And I'm Mason CNO. Before we bring you those stories, Twitter is swirling today with rumors about Coach Yo leaving Oxford for another job. Sports Watch reporter Emily Cochran joins us in the studio now. Emily, what can you tell us?
Well, Mason, fresh off a first-round exit from the team's first tournament appearance in 15 years, the Rebel women's basketball squad could be in need of a new coach. Unofficial reports say that Coach Yo could be headed to Athens, Georgia to become the next head coach of the Bulldogs women's team, who just lost their head coach Joni Taylor to Texas A&M earlier today. The Ball Out media originally reported the rumored move that has Twitter in a frenzy, but there is no official confirmation of that report as of now. We will of course keep you updated as we learn more about Coach Yo's future with the Rebels, and I will be back with more on Ole Miss sports later on in the show.
Thanks, Emily. Yesterday's severe weather didn't bring much other than rain to the Oxford area, but other parts of Mississippi weren't so lucky. This tree fell on Mississippi State's campus in Starkville as part of the series of storms that blew south of our area and created multiple confirmed tornadoes. The most severe damage was in central Mississippi around the Jackson area, specifically in Edwards. There are reports of damage to homes in 12 counties across the state, and the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency has received 2 reports of injuries in the state from the storm.
After what the State House Education Committee chairman described as being like making sausage, Mississippi teachers will finally have their pay raise, the largest in state history. Following suit of the Senate, the House passed the latest version of the bill yesterday by a 118-4 vote, and Governor Tate Reeves has pledged that he will sign the bill, fulfilling a campaign promise from 2019 to raise teacher pay. The bill designates $246 million to raises, which will come out to an average raise of over $5,000 per teacher starting next school year. Starting teacher pay will increase by $4,500 to $41,500. That's above the regional and national averages. Leaders hope this will make it easier for Mississippi to recruit and keep teachers.
Back in February, St. John Evangelist Catholic Church here in Oxford proposed a plan to build a new home to house its priests. Now, thanks to a unanimous vote this week, they have the green light to do so. The new rectory for the church will be located on the east side of the church building facing South 5th Street. These proposed plans are based on Southern Living's Bellamy Place 1878. The original plans drew criticism from the Historic Preservation Commission, which is what caused the delay and sent the church back to the drawing board. But the commissioners are happy the changes, calling them a big improvement.
If you're looking for something to do around town between tonight and this weekend, we might just have the thing. NewsWatch reporter Sarah Gale has a look at the festivals going on around Oxford.
Tonight, the Oxford Film Festival is back for its 19th year. But many people in Oxford do not realize the esteem this festival holds for filmmakers and viewers alike.
The Oxford Film Festival is one of the most respected regional film festivals on the circuit in the United States.
Filmmaker and publicist for OFF John Wildman says that this festival has become a cultural oasis for the state and has left people with a different perception of the South.
It really has become a destination film festival because on the circuit it's looked upon as one of those fests you just do not want to miss.
This festival, which will be held right here at the Malcolm Movie Theater, will feature a variety of films with genres ranging from women's rights to filmmakers with disabilities and more.
This film festival really has become a leader and in a lot of ways has become kind of a touchstone for the rest of the country to look at in terms of what artistic merit the entire state has.
And although the festival has a heavy local influence, people come from all over to experience it again and again.
Once someone comes to Oxford Film Festival for the first time, they're always going to come back the next year.
The festival will showcase 118 films from 18 different countries, and over 50 filmmakers will be at the festival to talk with viewers and answer questions. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Sarah Gale.
The festival will be in person until Sunday, and then will go virtual next week. You can buy your tickets at the door or online at oxfordfilmfest.com. That's not the only entertainment event in Oxford this weekend. Former NewsWatch anchor turned lead singer of the band Happy Landing is coming back to town with his band. Matthew Henley and Happy Landing will play at Proud Larry's Friday night at 8 p.m. The band just released their EP this past week. It comes after their successful first album, Just Kids at Heart, released in 2020. Two of the band's members, Keegan Lyle and Andrew Gardner, are currently Ole Miss students. Andrew Gardner, known as Mr. Neptune, released 2 solo singles earlier this year. Tickets are on sale through Eventbrite for $10. You can stream Happy Landing and Mr. Neptune on Spotify and Apple Music.
In COVID-19 news, there are currently 3 active confirmed cases on campus. This includes 2 student active cases and 1 active faculty case. Across Mississippi, cases remain low, with 129 total new cases yesterday.
Moderna and Pfizer are in an arms race to provide a vaccine for young children, and it appears that Moderna has the edge. The company says that its vaccine in the works for 6-month to 5-year-olds is producing positive results. These include a measurable antibody response and low safety risks. While there have been some adverse reactions to mostly the second of the 2 shots, these reactions are reported to have been mild or moderate. Moderna will ask the FDA for authorization in the coming weeks as Pfizer and BioNTech continue working on its kids' vaccine. The FDA postponed its consideration of the Pfizer shot until the company produces more data on 3rd doses.
The U.S. may be getting the upper hand in its fight to transition back to normal life after the pandemic. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced that they predict less than 13,000 people may die from the virus over the next 4 weeks. Although this may seem a daunting number, compared to last year's death rate, this is a major decrease in numbers. It is nearly a 50% decrease from last year and the lowest rate it has been this year. The CDC says this decrease should still continue throughout March and into mid-April.
In other health news, yesterday we told you that 4 Ukrainian children with cancer were headed to St. Jude Children's Hospital in Memphis. Today we can report that those children are officially on the ground and have made it to the hospital safely. The State Department hopes that these will be just the first of many Ukrainian cancer patients who can resume the care that they need. The First Lady will personally meet with the children on Friday.
Those children, of course, are fleeing the continued violence from Russian forces in Ukraine. Today, President Biden took off for Europe as Western countries continue to update their response.
The President is traveling to Europe to ensure we stay united on all 3 critical fronts, helping the Ukrainian people defend themselves, imposing and increasing costs on Russia, and reinforcing the Western alliance.
President Joe Biden is flying to Brussels today for an emergency NATO summit on Ukraine tomorrow. The White House says his first objective is to help the Ukrainians. Ukraine says some 100,000 people are trapped in the besieged city of Mariupol.
I've got elderly parents and 4 pets that I will not leave. Thanks to good people and people who helped, it became possible.
Other Ukrainians are battling to protect the capital Kyiv and other cities. And the UN says more than 3.5 million refugees have fled to neighboring countries to escape the fighting.
I have a little baby. I love my family. I had plans, and now I don't have plans.
Biden's second goal is to help impose further costs on Russia for its actions.
You know who is ordering war and who is promoting it. Almost all of them use Italy as a holiday resort. So do not be a resort for them.
The trip is also to show that the U.S. stands with its allies.
The closer you are to this Russian threat, the more real it is and the more frightening it is. And so what's happening in Ukraine, people in the Baltic states like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, they can see it happening there.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Officials within the U.S. State Department today officially accused the Russian military of committing war crimes in Ukraine.
Back in Washington, day 3 of Supreme Court confirmation hearings is over after intense questioning from Republican senators. The details from today's proceedings are coming up, but first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Times during class and I tell her, do talk to him. And it's like, oh, ew. Ew.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not my first time bartending, so.
It's a sausage party in here.
It's fine. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, because you're a sexy girl, Sam. Last thing,
Yeah.
is that the music, when Momo kicks it into high gear, is going to get a little bit loud in here. So your customers are going to have a hard time hearing you. So you may want to.
What?
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Madeleine Albright, the first female U.S. Secretary of State, has died at the age of 84 after her battle with cancer. Before becoming the first female Secretary of State, serving as a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama, she was born in Prague and moved to America in 1948 to escape communism. She married Joseph Albright and they had 3 children. During her time as one of the top officials in the Clinton administration, she championed the expansion of NATO and pushed for the alliance to intervene with the Balkans to stop ethnic cleansing and genocide.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson faced questions from senators today in the 3rd day of the confirmation hearings. CNN's Gloria Pazmino has the details on today's proceedings.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson arrived at Capitol Hill for one last day of questioning.
Senate Judiciary Committee will come to order.
Lawmakers focused on her criminal defense attorney record, and she responded to criticism that she has been soft on crime.
I understand the need for law enforcement, the importance of holding people accountable for their criminal behavior. I also, as a lawyer and a citizen, believe very strongly in our Constitution and the rights that make us free.
Brown talked about her brother, a former Baltimore Police Department officer and an Army veteran.
Law enforcement is a dangerous profession, and as family members, you worry when you don't get the phone call.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham questioned Brown on whether undocumented immigrants should be allowed to vote.
Under our laws, you have to be a citizen of the United States in order to vote.
So the answer would be no.
It's not consistent with our laws, so the answer is no.
After the hearings wrap, the committee will vote on whether to advance the nomination, which appears on track to happen. A final vote on the Senate floor will follow. I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Graham told reporters after this hearing that he thinks that Judge Brown Jackson will have a difficult time getting votes from Republicans.
While Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's Supreme Court hearings continue, the public is starting to share its opinions on President Biden's nominee. According to a new Gallup poll, 58% say they would like to see her on the bench as the 9th member on the High Court, while 30% say the Senate should reject her nomination, and 12% did not take a side. This has been a hot topic across the United States, and especially on Capitol Hill. If Jackson does receive the Senate's approval, she will become the first black woman to serve on the Supreme Court.
If the pandemic has derailed your plans to visit the nation's capital in the past 2 years, we've got some good news. Starting Monday, public Capitol Hill tours are making a comeback, for now in a limited capacity. A notice sent to members of Congress and staff says that there will be member-led, staff-led tours with school groups welcome back as well. Tours of the Capitol Dome will resume April 25th, and the Capitol Visitor Center will fully reopen in late May. While some have criticized the long closure, new variants of COVID and security concerns after the January 6th riots prevented the reopen.
In technology news, just as you're probably getting used to your Instagram algorithm, the company once again comes out with a new update. Instagram just announced they are releasing, or technically re-releasing, a new update which will bring back the version of its feed which we were all used to beforehand, reverse chronological feed. The platform ditched this feed designed back in 2016, but now users can choose between both of these options, one of which includes a version that shows the latest posts from 50 of your favorite accounts. The current algorithm mode is the default, and users will have to opt for the latest update.
Coming up in sports, Coach Lane Kiffin and the Rebel football team hosted its 2022 Pro Day earlier today. Find out how these former Rebels did coming up. And the Grizzlies will hit the hardwood against the Nets tonight in Memphis. I'll have that and more up next in sports.
I surrender.
All right, pal.
Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Can I play with it?
No, absolutely not. It's not a toy. You know that. Anyway, I need it to protect you, your sister, and Mom.
But what about the 8 kids who get shot every day by mistake?
Where'd you hear that?
Where do you keep it?
It's hidden.
I bet it's on the top shelf of the closet, under your sweatshirts. Is it loaded? Remember when I found my Christmas gift? You always told me to be curious.
No, that's not what I meant.
And when it's just me and Mom, I could use the gun to protect her.
No, Justin, I promise. I'm always here for you.
But Dad, you're not always here.
There's an epidemic spreading. Scientists say it can change your brain. It can release dangerous chemicals like formaldehyde into your bloodstream. It can expose your lungs to acrolein, which can cause irreversible damage. It's not a parasite, not a virus, not an infection. It's vaping.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
As the COVID-19 vaccines become available, you might be asking yourself, should I get it? And if I do, will I be able to go about life without putting my family at risk? You've got questions, and that's normal. The fact is, the vaccines are safe and effective. They're going to save lives. To get the latest on the COVID-19 vaccines, visit getvaccineanswers.org, because getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you.
It's all on the line in Oxford today. The big dream for many Ole Miss football players is to make it to the NFL, and Pro Day is their last chance to showcase their talents before the draft. Earlier today, 18 former Rebels hit the gridiron to impress NFL scouts. All eyes were on former QB Matt Corral after his ankle injury during the Sugar Bowl and the choice not to throw or participate in the NFL Combine. According to the NFL Network's Cameron Wolfe, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin was in attendance. Head coaches Mike McCarthy, Matt Rule, and Arthur Smith were in the Manning Center as well, and I'm sure they were impressed with what they saw. After last night's road game in Memphis was canceled due to weather, Ole Miss baseball will take on the Tigers tonight for a midweek matchup at Swayze. No makeup date for last night's cancellation has been made. The Rebs are coming off a series win at Auburn over the weekend, winning 2 and dropping 1 to the Tigers. Head coach Mike Bianco says he was embarrassed after Saturday's game because they had multiple opportunities to make an impact, making that a tough one to swallow. Coach B and the Rebs are looking to right some wrongs tonight, both on defense and on offense. First pitch is at 6:30 tonight, and don't forget to snag some dollar dogs. Ole Miss women's and men's tennis are making some jumps in the ITA rankings. The 8-6 women's tennis team improved 17 positions to number 44 in the collegiate rankings after upsetting number 31 Alabama 4-2 on Friday. Ole Miss defeated number 14 Michigan on January 29th, making this their second-ranked win of the season. The Rebels were sitting at number 61 only 1 week ago. As for the men's tennis team, their jump in the ITA poll was backwards after 2 road losses to top 10 programs last weekend. Ole Miss fell to number 1 Florida and number 7 South Carolina, putting the Rebs at number 39. On to the hardwood. The Brooklyn Nets are headed to Memphis tonight to take on the Grizzlies in a primetime matchup. The Grizz are in a perfect position to lock up the second seed tonight if they get the win this evening. Memphis is coming in well rested and confident after some off time over the last few days and beating the Houston Rockets by 24 points on Sunday. Something huge for the Nets. Andre Drummond is back tonight after missing Monday night's game due to a non-COVID related illness. There are still injuries for both teams tonight, including Memphis's Ja Morant. With him out, the odds are in Brooklyn's favor. However, it is a big day for the Grizzlies. ESPN is rolling out the red carpet for this one and for a squad having a breakout season and one of the most exciting teams to watch in sports. They are sure to bring it tonight more than ever. And today, NFL free agency left us all a little stunned after reports came out that Chiefs Tyreek Hill is being traded to the Dolphins for 5 draft picks, including a 2022 first-rounder. Due to Kansas City's lack of cap space, extension talks stalled, and the Chiefs gave Hill's agent permission to seek the trade. This trade will make the 6-time Pro Bowler the highest-paid wide receiver in NFL history, signing for $120 million over 5 years. The Dolphins still have 2 number 1 draft picks next year, their own and San Francisco's. As we all know, we can only expect more surprising trades as free agency continues. That's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at @Rebel_Watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Emily. It's National Puppy Day, and we're celebrating by letting you meet our good boys and girls, and some of the ones that you submitted. The puppies of NewsWatch are up next.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Today is National Puppy Day, and just look at all those sweet pups that belong to NewsWatch staff, talent, and viewers. They are so adorable, and it's a great excuse to post those dog pictures we all love to share.
Actually, some of my dogs just popped up. Of course, dogs of all ages are puppies. Well, at least to me. If you're thinking that you need a furry friend in your life, the Oxford Animal Resource Center has dogs and cats that are in need of good homes. They're located on McElroy Drive near the post office. And actually, some of me and my friends have adopted dogs for a day there as well. That's a really fun thing to do.
I don't currently have a dog, but it's great to see that we're so well represented here at NewsWatch. Well, that's all for us tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Mason C&O.
And I'm Juliana Jackson. Make sure to follow us on social media at NewsWatch Ole Miss for the latest on Ole Miss and beyond.
Thank you and good night.